what the Bible has to say that speak directly to men's issues. I've done a teaching series, and I'll be using some of the excerpts called Biblical Masculinity. And in that teaching series, we look at what does the Bible say about the way men are hardwired? What does the Bible say about the fact that men desire to build things like a Nehemiah? What does the Bible say to men who are challenged in the raising of their children and in their marriages like a David? What does the Bible say to men who keep doing the right thing and wrong keeps happening to them like a man like Joseph? What does the Bible say to a man like Pharaoh who will only change when his life gets plagued by problems? What does the Bible say to men who get the money but they hate what they became in the process, right, Judas? So we're going to be doing a teaching series entitled Becoming a Man That Matters. Becoming a Man That Matters. Now, Proverbs teaches us that where there's no vision, the people perish. And we said that you never read about a blind woman in the Bible. You never read about Jesus spat in the ground and rubbed mud on the eyes of a certain blind woman. You never read about a certain blind woman on the road to Jericho saw Jesus passing by and said, "Jesus, Jesus, have mercy on me." But you do read about certain blind men. And we discussed the fact that anytime a man loses his vision, he'll become a menace to society. The reason why you don't read about certain blind women is because Satan is smart and he's strategic. And he knows that if he can take out the man, it's not 1 for 1, now it's 2 for 1. It's that man and his wife. It's 3 for 1, it's that man, his wife, and his daughter. And there'll be a ripple effect. So men are under tremendous pressure. Men are really under the gun, because Satan knows he can get the most bang for his buck. If that son can become wayward, not only will his wife cry tears, but so will his mom. So Satan is strategically coming after men, strategically trying to attack them. Not to say that he doesn't attack women, and not to say that he doesn't attack other populations. But from Satan's perspective, the best bang for the buck he can get is a man. Now, I'm going to repeat some key statements that I've been making as it relates to men, just so that we can get these in our minds. And we're going to do this every week, just so you understand some of the things that men deal with. So statement number 1 that I made about men is most men don't change or only change by crisis. A crisis in their health, a crisis in their finances, a crisis in their job. And we said that if we're going to become a man who matters, this is review, we said we don't want crises to be the change agent. Don't let things deteriorate so far that crises becomes the catalyst. Let revelation knowledge be the catalyst. Let love be the catalyst. Let watching your predecessors who made poor decisions be the catalyst to you making right ones. But if you're going to become a man who matters, don't allow crises to be the change agent. The next statement we made is in the chest of every man is the desire to be significant. Every man wants to be somebody's hero. The only difference in men is how they go about pursuing that significance. So if I'm going to be a man who matters, I want to make sure that I go about pursuing my significance with a kingdom agenda. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be in a fivefold ministry or that you have to be a pastor or a teacher or evangelist or a prophet, but it means that there's a transcendent cause in your life, something that surpasses just the mundane and the grunt work. There's something that's larger than you. Ecclesiastes puts it like this, in Ecclesiastes 3:11, it says, "And God has planted eternity in the hearts of man." This is deep because you and I live along a continuum called time. Time is finite, A to B. I was born January 25th, 1967. If I die January 25th, 2067, that will be 100 years. That's time on a horizontal line. But eternity has no beginning and no end. Jesus says, "I'm the Alpha and Omega. I'm the beginning and the end." So when Ecclesiastes 3:11 says that God has planted eternity in the hearts of men, it means he's taken something from his dimension and he's planted it in ours. That's why on the inside of each and every one of us, we know that I'm supposed to be part of something larger than me. I'm supposed to be doing something more than just earning a living. I'm supposed to be doing something more than just putting in my time. There's something in my spiritual DNA that has a transcendent cause. There's something in my spiritual DNA that I know has come from above. It's a gifting. It's an aptitude. It's a desire. It's an unusual compassion. And God has planted eternity, Ecclesiastes 3:11, in the hearts of man. Within your heart beats that eternity. That eternity is looking for an expression. That's the real you. That's when you get engaged in that, that's when time goes by quickly. That's when you lose yourself. That's when people notice that you're in your sweet spot. That's when people notice that you're in your gifting, whether it's speaking or teaching or writing music or whatever it is. When that eternity starts expressing itself in time, people look at you and they notice and they recognize that there's something, you do that with an unusual capacity. You do that with an unusual aptitude. And that's that eternity speaking. God has planted eternity in the hearts of men. So in the heart of every man beats the desire to be significant. The only difference is how we go about it. Rest assured, every man wants his life to count. The next statement we made about men that we have to address is men avoid things that they don't do well. Men avoid things that they don't do well. And if we're going to become a man who matters, we can't allow that to be our excuse. We can't run from the things that are difficult. We can't run from a difficult marriage. We can't run from a difficult wayward child. We can't even run from a difficult job situation because there may be little mouths depending on us. But men avoid things that they don't do well. I jokingly, tongue-in-cheek, say the best example of this is my backhand in tennis. I will run across the baseline just so I can hit it with my forehand. We said the next statement we want to make about men in the Bible, which is sobering, is most men in the Bible, this is deep, don't finish strong. It's easy to be a good starter, but are you a good finisher? Notice you want to hear the words well done, not well intended, not well started, not well until you got to the middle, not well until you ran out of money, not well till you ran out of motivation, not well till you ran out of support from other people, but you want to hear the words well done. Paul put it like this in 2 Timothy 4:6. I have fought a good fight, I have finished my race, I've kept the faith. Now there awaits a crown of righteousness for me, but not just me, but all those who will follow my righteous example. Notice the tense. Paul said he fought a good fight. He kept the faith. He finished his race. I have a teaching series called The Power of Discipline. And discipline is simply the ability to keep moving forward towards a goal long after the enthusiasm that initiated that goal started with. Discipline is the ability to keep moving forward when the initial enthusiasm has waned, when the initial support has waned. Most men in the Bible don't finish strong. Moses didn't finish strong in that he didn't see the promised land. David didn't finish strong in that in 2 Samuel 11 we see that he cheated with Bathsheba in his 50s. Solomon didn't finish strong, and he had to write a journal about his futility. Let me help you out with your quiet time. If you're going to read Ecclesiastes, make me one promise and one promise only, and that is you will read it beginning to end in one setting. Because if you start cherry picking, you're going to get inside the brain of a very confused man. If you're going to read that book, read it from beginning to end.